It says I'm live. That's good. Hi, everybody. We'll get this lesson started in about 38 seconds. If you have a question, the link is in the description below, and you can ask it there. Nightbot will also show up in a bit, and you'll be able to use the link that you see in the chat. Good. Sorry, I'm a minute late because I had to reset the outside camera because it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. So I think we're good to go. Hi, welcome to this lesson. Let me make sure. Yes, we are a go. It's all a go. We are doing what we need to do. I think I clicked off of the timer a little bit early, but that is okay. Hi, welcome to this live question and answer English lesson. So here's how this works. If you have a question, there's a link in the description below. If you have a question about the English language, there's a link there. There will also be a link in the chat occasionally from Nightbot. And you can use that link to ask me a question about the English language. Maybe you have a question about how to pronounce something. Maybe you have a question about grammar. Maybe you have a question about how to put a sentence together. Maybe you've heard a phrase and you're not sure how to use it or what it means exactly. So if you ask that, I will answer it. I'm going to make a small adjustment here. Just give me a moment. Where do I go for that? Bear with me. I'm going to check something on the form responses. I don't know if it will update this live, but I'm turning off the one response only. So you can ask more than one question. If it gets out of hand, I'll turn that limiter back on again. I'm going to pin in the chat as well the link from Nightbot. If you have a question, please use this link to ask it. So what is this? This is a time for you to ask questions using the form. It is a time for you to use the chat to have fun and enjoyable conversations with each other. We have a lot of regulars here, a lot of members, and a lot of new people. So please enjoy each other's company. I do want to give a shout out to American English with Brent. Brent is here. He sometimes answers questions in the chat while I'm talking about things, and he's quite helpful in that way, and I do really appreciate it. So thank you, Brent, for hanging out for a bit. I didn't mean to give you a job, but thank you for hanging out for a bit. Let me see here. I'm just reading through the chat. I'm going to say hi to Harvey, Zasofia, Viet, Jessica, Nuru, Freddie Wolf, Know That, Mode Eggs, Ulia, Judith, Ario, Rosanna. Let me scroll back here. Freddie Wolf, Hafiez is here. Again, Brent is here. Ralph, Cat Diary, Mode Eggs. I think I'm saying names twice now as I scroll back. It's good to see all of the new people and all of the familiar faces. I know I can't see your face exactly, but it is fun to be here for the morning. Good morning to Unsel as well. Hey, Unsel, how are you doing? And let's see, Rebecca, Alexandra, Merrick, Puya, Sky, Sandra, Malik, Alexandra. Oh, Brent again. Brent's just here for support because he needs the support. No, he's here to support me. Let me check my focus for a sec. Good, we got good focus. And let's have a look outside. I couldn't do the lesson outside today because, as you can see, it's quite overcast. I actually went for a 90-minute walk this morning, and I was quite damp when I got back. So we're inside. I think last year, the first Saturday in May, I was outside for this lesson, but we are inside today. But should we get started? I think we should. Let's go to the first question. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Ruslan, hello, dear teacher Bob. Is it even legal to be so cool in Canada? The CRA will probably tax you extra for being such a cool teacher and kind person. Well, I'll take the compliment, but I don't actually think I'm that cool. Kind, I try. I think I every day try to intentionally be kind to people because I think there's a saying that behind every behavior is a story. and maybe you don't know the story. So I try to be kind, but it's challenging sometimes. From Know That. Hello, Bob. Today I have a hair-related question. How long does it take you on average to cut your hair? And do you really always cut them in front of the house? Thanks, Bob. So when the weather's nice and I need a haircut, I grab my clippers. I think I put on it's either 7 or 9 millimeter attachment, and I go outside and I cut my hair. It takes me about 10 or 15 minutes. And then Jen comes and takes the clippers from me and kind of finishes off around my ears and any spots that I missed. So it's a way where for my whole life, I feel like I've saved a lot of money by cutting my own hair and having Jen cut my hair. So yes, about 15 minutes or so. I was going to say to Know That, you can check now whether you can ask another question, Know That. So I think I turned it off. If you double check that for me, that would be great to know. Because I'm not sure with a Google form, if you turn that off while the form is live, whether people can then submit again. Okay, let me see here. The next question. So Takagero, hi, Mr. Bob. Yesterday you taught us the phrase to move house. Did you know that sometimes they literally move houses? They call it structure relocation. So this is from yesterday. We had the question about when you live in one city and you decide you want to buy a house or get an apartment somewhere else. I think in Britain, don't quote me on this, they would say, I'm going to move house. In Canada, and I think in the United States, we would just say, I'm going to move. I'm going to sell my house this year and I'm going to move. That's just an example. I'm not actually selling my house. But yes, I did know that people could move houses. Believe it or not, here's a story from when I was a kid. In 1980, when I was 9 or so years old, 9 or 10. Yeah. My parents, the house I'm in is in the same spot as the house that used to be here. It's kind of hard. There was a white house in this location, and my parents hired a company to jack the house up and to move the house back 100 feet. And then they built this house in the spot where that house was sitting. And then eventually we tore down that old house. So Mode says to me, yes, we can ask a second question. I just checked, but I'll save you the trouble. Awesome. Thank you for that. Yep, it's possible now. It says Know That. Thanks for checking. Know That. That's cool. What was I going to say? Yeah, and then we lived in the house. We moved the house back 100 feet or 30 meters. And then we lived in it while my dad and my uncle built this house. This house was actually built by my dad and my uncle. My uncle was in construction and my dad had quite a few skills as well. Let me clear my throat a little bit here. From Mode, how often do you hear clinical? Not in the obvious sense, but the second meaning, which means something like cold, no emotions. I only heard a Brit say it, no wonder, eh? So when someone, like when our school gets inspected, the government inspector, if I was to describe that person, is very clinical. They're not happy. They're not sad. They have no emotions. They come to the school with their clipboard and their laptop, and they check everything we're doing to make sure we're doing it right. And you can't tell if they're happy when you show them stuff or if they're annoyed. They're just very clinical, like, okay, thank you. And then they check off, okay, can I see this? Thank you. They're very clinical. So yes, cold, no emotions. We use it occasionally, usually to talk about like an inspector. That would be a good example of someone who is very, very clinical. Okay, next question from Judith. Let me read over the chat too. Good to see people chatting. From Judith. Hi, Bob. If you could, would you exchange someone in your life to someone else? Who would that be and why? Who would that be? A little flip there, and why? Thank you and have a great day. So none of my friends, none of my family. I would say that a long time ago, I'm going to embellish this a little bit, but a long time ago, there was a person, I had a different job than I have now. And there was a person I worked with who, in English, we say, I'm trying to be kind, but I can't be. There's people who are doers and there's people who don't do anything. And I worked with someone who didn't really do anything. I don't know if you've ever worked with someone who doesn't actually do their job, but still is in charge and tells everyone else to. So that would be the one person. This is about 20, I won't give a date. A long time ago, I worked with someone and I still to this day, it was a bad experience. I think everyone meets one person in their life where it's a bad experience. So that's who I would exchange. Sandra, how can I practice speaking if I do not have a partner? Number one, you have to try really hard to find a partner. If that partner is a person, that's awesome. If that partner is AI, that's great. But you have to find someone to have an authentic conversation with. You can do a lot of things. You can read out loud. You can talk to yourself. You can describe your surroundings out loud. Like say, I see a tree. Like if we did this, you could say, I see a red van. I see a white pickup truck. I see a lot of trees. I see a river. And you would say all those things out loud to kind of practice your speaking. But nothing really replaces an actual conversation. So if you want to practice speaking, somehow you have to figure out either you hire a partner and meet them online, or you use AI to have simulated conversations. That's what I would call them. Oh yeah, things are still moving a little bit out there. Okay, let me find the next question. Oh, hi, Lolly Lolly. Good to see you. And let's see, anybody else here that I know? Vinell, Kenya, good to see all of you. From Sally. Hi, Teacher Bob. I hope you're fine. Is memorizing poems good for learning a language? I would say in this sense. So songs are actually poems sung out loud. And memorizing the lyrics to a song and then listening to that song a lot will really help you remember all of the words in that song. Memorizing poems is fine as well. But, I should say thanks to Zhang Jing Zhao, Mark, for the super sticker. And two of them, thank you very much. Hi, sir, I am in London. Very cool to have you here. And thank you for the super sticker or the super chat. That's awesome. But back to the question. I like music. Memorizing the lyrics to a song, which is actually a kind of poem, and then singing along while the song is playing is a great thing to do. But if you want to memorize poems, that's a good idea as well. You just probably won't say the poem out loud very often, will you? Tina, hello. What's the difference between the verbs to message someone and to text someone? So message is a general term and text means you're using your phone. I don't have my phone with me. We'll pretend this is my phone. So I can message you on Instagram. I can message you on Facebook. At school, we have a learning platform. I can message another teacher on the learning platform. But if I go on my phone and I have your phone number and I send you a text message, I would use the verb to text. I'm going to text my brother right now and see if he can come over later to help me. So again, to message someone is a general term. But if it's a message where you're sending it from your phone to another person's phone number, we use the verb to text. Let's see here in the chat. Brent says, I once had a coworker who never worked. We nicknamed him Stopwatch. His favorite thing to do is stop and watch other people work. Yes, you've had a similar experience to me. Mine might have been a little bit worse because this person was in charge. And so yeah, I don't want to go into too many details. Coworkers are amazing people. You learn so much about humans from having coworkers. Bear Vilson's here. Hi, amazing Teacher Bob. Great, you're feeling well again. Congrats. Good to see you. Zhao, thank you again. You can call me Mark. I am in London. Very cool. Thank you. Hafia says, I bet he usually pressed the snooze button nonstop. Yeah, it's interesting. It would be curious someday to write a book about and call it My Most Annoying Coworker. And it's just all anonymous stories about coworkers. Next question from Ario. Hello, Mr. Bobby. How are you? I am feeling good. I went for a long walk this morning, even though it was raining. It was quite enjoyable. I'm delighted that you are doing a live stream today. How are things on your farm? Little switch there. If you feel burned out, what would you do to recharge? So on the farm, things are going well. I will show you though that normally by this time of year, the leaves are out more on the trees. You can see some leaves, but they're not all the way out. It's actually been a little bit cold and also not very sunny for the last month and a half. So we are a little bit behind in terms of what things are happening on the farm. But other than that, things are going quite well. Second question, if you feel burnt out, what would you do to recharge? I will sometimes take a sick day. I get 15 or 20 sick days a year. I think I take 3, maybe. I will call in sick more often now than when I was younger. And maybe this year I've taken 4. But if I'm feeling burnt out, I will, first of all, if I'm really feeling burnt out and starting to feel sick, I'll take a sick day. But I will try to have a weekend where I don't do anything, where I'm just home for 2 days straight. That's a nice way to recharge. Let's see here. From Kit Konang. Bob, I was learning grammar. Could you help me? So there's 2 things that most of you who've been here a while will know what I'm going to say. 2 things about grammar. 1, it's important to buy a book written in your own language that explains English grammar. And number 2, I think it's very important to read a lot and listen a lot, but also do that actively. That was a weird face. Actively. Do that actively in the sense that listen to a song and identify all the verbs that are in the past tense, or read a paragraph and circle all the adjectives, or whatever part of grammar you're trying to learn. And then the last would be having a conversation partner who can explain things to you is very helpful as well. Emathist, thank you so much for becoming a member. I'm sure you will enjoy it. Your name is in green now. You'll get an extra video every Wednesday. You'll get a lesson plan to follow for the week every Monday morning at some point. It sometimes comes out at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, sometimes at 11 a.m. Brent says, as we near retirement, you need to take a few sick days. My district only pays for 30 now. Yes, there is something about that. Like, I think when I was younger, I thought taking a sick day meant I was weak and, you should just power through. But I think the pandemic changed my mind on that. Now when I'm sick, I stay home because I don't want to make other people sick. It's not very kind to do that. Kit Konang says, thanks a lot for your answer to my question. No problem. Let me get the next question on the screen. From Adriano, what is the schwa sound? The schwa sound, let me get a good explanation of this. The schwa sound in English is a mixed, relaxed, neutral vowel sound, often described as a lazy vowel, which appears in unstressed syllables. Interesting, yes. About, pencil, in. I guess it's a lazy vowel. It does make a sound though, I guess. A weak, unstressed. I guess it depends how you say the word, isn't it? English language is stress timed. In an English sentence, the words that communicate the most parts of the message are stressed. So the ground is wet. Yeah, I'm basically researching this as I explain it. So I guess it's an unstressed vowel, or a vowel that doesn't make a lot of, it's like a vowel. It's like a coworker that doesn't do a lot of work. So the schwa sound sounds like a vowel that doesn't do its whole job. The lazy sound. Short vowels. Yeah, I'm going to have to research this a bit more. Sorry for the fumbling explanation, but you can actually write that down. Schwa is like a vowel that doesn't do its whole job. Judith from Hungary. And here is my second question. Which of your children would be the best president of Canada and why? So first of all, a little correction. It would be Prime Minister of Canada. And I don't think it's wise for a parent to choose which child. I think we missed, my son was leaving to go mow some lawns. Yep, he's gone. We missed it. You guys probably saw it in the little window down there. Let me say this. I have 5 children. The characteristics that are required to be a leader are very different. There's probably like 40, and each of my kids has a different set of those qualities. I think they would all make a good leader, but in different ways. That's a very politically correct answer. Let's see. Schwa's nickname is Stopwatch 2. That's what Hafiez says. Mode says, Bob won't stop talking about that coworker. It was a hard time in my life. Know that. Again, second test question. Bob, which Saturday chores are on your to-do list for today? Grocery shopping, cleaning, or maybe tidying up your room? Just kidding. Thank you, Bob. Probably tidying my room would be a good thing. It's getting a little messy. We're almost done here. But the biggest job today is we have a store called Costco. In the United States, they have Costco and Sam's Club. Here we have Costco. It's a store where you can buy large quantities of things, and it's usually cheaper. I have to go to Costco today because we need, let me review from yesterday. What did I have here? Let's go back. I have to run out and get toilet paper. I have to run out and get cheese. I have to run out and get milk. There are a lot of things that I need to run out and get today, and they're all at Costco. So I'm going to be doing grocery shopping, basically. It's mostly food that I need to buy. And then I'll leave. Maybe I'll post a picture tomorrow. I'm going somewhere tomorrow where I've never gone before. I'm not making an English lesson, but you'll see. Maybe keep an eye out for a couple photos tomorrow. You'll see. Okay, from Zeravan. Hello, Teacher Bob. What's the difference between its and its? Well, first of all, they are pronounced the same way. So I could say, the cat chased its tail, or it's raining. And the way it works is this. It, apostrophe S, is a contraction of it is. So it is raining, it's raining. The cat chased its tail, though, is just ITS, and it's the possessive, meaning the tail belongs to the cat. Freddie Wolf says, your king and queen are going to visit Canada soon. No one told me. And Hafiez wishes that they had a Costco there. It is a handy store, but the king and queen, I haven't been reading the news lately. If you read the news in Canada right now, it's dangerous because it's mostly going to be about the United States. And I'm frankly just not that interested right now in what's happening down there. Okay, let me get to the next question. A damp Bob. Nice and great job on the 90-minute walk, Bob, even when it was drizzling. I wonder if you get headaches when you get yourself or hair wet from the rain, because I do. I don't. I generally... I don't own expensive exercise gear, but I do have a rainproof jacket, and I do have a hat where it's a baseball cap, but it will keep your head dry. I do have gloves to walk in inclement weather. We would call it inclement weather this morning. So yeah, I got kind of damp, but I didn't get soaked through. When you get soaked through, it means like your skin is wet and your clothes are wet. So I didn't get soaked through. Let's see here. Costco on a Saturday, wear protective gear. In the summer, Tuesday morning is the best time to go to Costco. I don't work in the summer. Saturday is the worst time to go to Costco because everyone who works from Monday to Friday usually goes on Saturday. So it will be, thanks Brent, I will wear protective gear when I go there. Let's see here. Lolly Lolly, hi Bob, do you already have coins bearing the effigy of King Charles III of England? I think so. I should check. I don't have any by me, and they might not be new ones. I'll find some at some point. Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's the new, who is on the new loonie? In 2023, King Charles III entered circulation on the loonie, and I've probably seen one, but I wish I had one. The problem is I don't really use money that often anymore. Like my wallet doesn't have a lot of money in it. Yesterday I had money here because I had to go buy hay for the goats, but Normally I pay for everything with my phone or my Fitbit or my bank card. You just tap things now. So let's see here. Hite says, I will visit Canada when I'm old. Well, that'll be fun. Maybe I'll visit France when I'm old. I haven't done a lot of traveling yet. From Unsel. Let me have a sip of water here. Hi, Mr. Bob. How do you spend time with guests when they come to your home? Are Canadians hospitable? Can you tell us a little bit? Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye. So it depends who the guests are. If it is Jen's family, her sister and brother-in-law, or her parents, or if it's my brothers or sisters. If it's summer, we generally sit around a campfire, or we'll just sit in the house and have tea and snacks and maybe supper together. If it is someone who is coming from far away, maybe like my memory is when I was a kid, relatives from the Netherlands would come to visit my parents. We would almost always go to Niagara Falls. I live about 45 minutes from Niagara Falls, 40 minutes if you drive fast. And that is usually where we take people if they come to visit. When Brent came to visit a couple years ago, we went to Niagara Falls. It's an attraction. It's a tourist attraction. It's amazing to go see. So it is very cool. Jessica in the chat says, is Bob on Wednesday a casual freestyle video? Yes, it is me talking for 3 minutes. Most of the time at home, sometimes in town, where I just talk about a current subject. This past week's was about, there was a hole in the ground where there used to be a building in my local town. So we had a look at it. Freddie says, Bob, you better get some money in case of an electrical shot like in Spain and Portugal. Yeah, so the power went out like in the whole country or something, right? Both in Spain and Portugal. Yes, I do have a generator, but I don't know if I could live stream from the generator. There's too many things to plug in. Wait, the Looney doesn't have a loon on it anymore. Isn't that the reason for the name? What are you going to call it now? It's the backside. So there's still a loon on the front side. The backside is where the face is. Show that Looney to the king when he visits your house, Bob. We'll see. We'll see about that. Anyways, are Canadians hospitable? Most are, I think, in my opinion, although we aren't very hospitable to Americans right now. There's been a few news stories of Americans being heckled or hassled. There's a little bit of tension between the US and Canada right now. I think that will all settle down, but it's an interesting time. I didn't think I would ever experience this in my life. From Kenya. Let me see here. Let me go to this to make sure. Yeah, it looks like things are still moving. Sometimes that camera freezes. Oh yeah, the leaves are still moving. It's just really, really calm outside. Know that gifted a membership, and Kakachen got it. That's great, actually. Kakachen deserves to have a membership, an active member on both channels. Very cool. Thanks for that. Know that. That is very awesome of you. I do appreciate it. Yeah, that's cool. Hello, Teacher Bob. This is from Kenya. Hello, Teacher Bob. My problem, pronunciation, words. How to solve this question. So some people can hear a word and they know how to pronounce it, and they can hear themselves pronouncing it wrong, and then they can correct themselves. So if you play me saying cat, dog, monkey, horse, and then you say cat, dog, monkey, horse, some people will be able to analyze if they're saying it right and correct themselves. Some people, it's very difficult to do that. So if you need pronunciation help, I would A, do a lot of listening and shadowing, and then B, I would get a speaking partner to help you with that pronunciation. I think there are some apps that will help with that as well. And you might want to do some like vocal exercises to help you make the sounds that don't exist in your language, like the flap T or the sound, those kinds of things. No, that says you're very welcome, Bob. Yes, no problem. That is very, oh yeah, sorry. Thanks. Know that. Hafia says, hey there. Okay. I'm losing track because my mind is saying it's members only chat time. So let me get to that section and turn on members only chat. I do usually try to answer member questions during the actual live stream. But if you are a member and you have a question, we got 10 minutes now where I will be happy to answer your question. And I will keep looking at questions from the forum. So let's look at this one first. Aliona, hello, Bob. Would you like to live in a hot climate? And did you like the climate in Canada? So here's the thing. My parents, both of my parents as children, came from the Netherlands, and they came from the northern part of the Netherlands. And so they enjoyed winter when they were children. And they moved to Canada where we have a pretty good winter. And so I also grew up enjoying winter. My mom and my grandma made me mittens and warm hats, and we knew how to dress and play in the snow. So I really, really like winter. I think for those reasons. Where was I going to go with this? Would I like to live in a hot climate? No, I think I actually prefer fall, winter, and spring over summer. When it's over 25 degrees, I'm kind of uncomfortable. When it's over 30 degrees, I'm very uncomfortable. I do not enjoy that weather, especially if the humidity is very, very high. So do I like the climate in Canada? Yes. Here's the funny thing though. Just recently, Jen and I have started talking about in a few years, we might go south for 2 or 3 weeks in the winter. So we might enjoy Christmas. We might stay in Ontario for the month of January, but for the month of February, we might go somewhere warmer and sunnier because this past February was not very nice. It was very, very kind of cold and miserable, I would say. Okay, from the chat, from Know That, hey Bob, how were your seminars yesterday? I hope they were good and you were able to take away a lot from them. Oh, and while I'm at it, were you able to finish all the tasks you set out to do yesterday? So second part, yes, I got everything done yesterday just in time. First part, the seminars were good. I was a little worried though, because the one training seminar was about AI. And I'm not sure what to think about AI. I'll be honest. I like to have ideas when I go for a walk, and I like to create things. So I like to come up with ideas. And I feel like AI is allowing everyone to come up with ideas. And I thought I was special. So even something as simple as, every English lesson I make on a Tuesday, it's an idea I came up with. But I feel like the world's going to be interesting for the next little while. So we had a seminar about AI and using AI in teaching and how students are using it to cheat. And I guess I'm not done thinking about AI yet. Although using AI to make video is different. Like if I wanted to teach space vocabulary and I could use AI so I could be an astronaut in the video, that I might use. We'll see. Anyways, yes, got everything done and had good seminars. Lolly says, my favorite season is spring. Spring is nice. Like when you look outside, that is a beautiful season when you see trees starting to bloom, etc., etc. Mode says, looks like Nightbot is making more use of the member chat than members themselves. Yeah, Nightbot's likes to fill it in. No, that says, just in advance, Bob, my next question is a bit long, so I'll split it up. During my studies, I came across German words that have found their way into the English language, such as the Wanderlust, Glockenspiel, Uber, Ersatz, etc. I was wondering if these are actually commonly used. Have you ever heard someone use them or perhaps use them yourself? Wanderlust for sure. You will have someone who maybe they move from job to job. Maybe they enjoy traveling and they never really settle down. We would use that word. Uber, of course, is being used as the name of a company, but we also use it to say, oh, it was uber fun. Like, I think it's fallen out of use a bit because of the Uber Drive app. Like, I don't think people use it as much because it can be confusing, but I hope you think this live stream is uber helpful. That's how we would use it. The other two, not so much. I mean, a Glockenspiel, I know what that is, but we don't really see someone playing one very often. So no, that says, I was wondering if these are actually common. Oh, I did read the second part. Freddie Wolf says, yes, Mode, it's enormous glass of water is my enormous glass of water back. Hope he doesn't be drunk by the end of the lesson. Yes. This is the enormous glass. It is now the standard issue glass for live streams. No, that says, thank you, Bob, and sorry for splitting up the length of the question. No problem. Hafia says, kindergarten is German word, and Gesundheit. Yeah, we use both of those. Kids go to kindergarten at age 4 or 5, and we say Gesundheit after people sneeze sometime. Or some people say, God bless you, Gesundheit, or bless you. They'll say that after you sneeze. Let me get another question from the forum. Let's see here. From Puya, what is the difference between have and did? And another question, how can we use these words in our conversations? Could have, would have. And if someone wants a partner, I'm probably going to say I'm available. So first of all, have and did, I'll give you some examples. Have is used to say you own something, like I have a cup, right? I have a pair of glasses. But we can also use it to talk about something that you've done. So have you gone skiing? Yes, I have gone skiing, right? That's another use of the verb have. And that's like a general sense. Like you're almost saying like, have you ever gone skiing? Yes, I have gone skiing. That means at some point in my life, I did. If you said, how was your weekend? Did you go skiing? And I said, I did go skiing. I'm talking about like that specific time and place. So there's probably more to that answer than what I just gave, but that's that. Could have and would have, like if he would have worn a hat, let me think of an example here. If he would have brought more money, he could have bought more bananas. Okay, so we have two situations there. If he had decided to take more money, he had the ability or the possibility of buying more bananas. When you're going to buy bananas, always bring enough money. Bananas are amazing. I'm looking, that's my cup. I'm like, what's that orange thing in the corner? Okay, Freddie will mode eggs. No, that is kindergarten is. Ralph, my opinion on AI is similar to yours, Bob. AI is providing everything to everybody, but the current models are not able to create something new. They combine data and make you feel like you did. That's a good point, Ralph, especially the last part of your sentence, because here's what I see happening. People use AI to make something, and then they say, I made this. So if you say to AI, I saw a student do this. I'll just make a generic example. Let's say a student uses AI to make a picture of a dog with a monkey riding on its back. And then the student says, I made this. I usually respond by saying, but not really. You didn't really make it. But I feel like that's kind of what's happening. And they feel like they did it. So Ralph, that's very wise. It's a very wise description of how I feel as well about AI. I'm just not sure yet what to think about it. Let's see. We'll do members only chat for another few minutes. Hamasha, hello, Bob, sir. I'm from Sri Lanka. I watch your videos and improve my English knowledge, but I can't speak English very fast. How to improve this? First of all, speaking English slowly is a step towards speaking English quickly. The key here is that you are speaking English. If you can learn to do anything in life slowly, over time, you will most likely be able to do it quickly. A good example would be if your job was to build birdhouses, the first few weeks as you worked at the birdhouse factory, you would be kind of slow. And as you built birdhouses, you would get faster. The same is true for speaking English. Don't worry about the fact that you are speaking slowly. Take your time and have a lot of English conversations, and you will naturally get faster at it. Let's see here. Are the leaves still moving? Yes. Bob, you said you're probably tidying up your room today, Bob. Does that mean you're done with your taxes? Almost. It's like such a pain. I wish there was some magic button you could push. And I know a few of you suggested that I get an accountant or bookkeeper. We do have an accountant, but I do have to get everything in order, we would say in English, before I bring things to the accountant. Let's see here. Next question is from Nerva Phobek. Hello from Uzbekistan. Do I have to learn all dialects, all accents, that I can communicate in English fully? No. So here's the funny thing. If you are from South Africa, or if you are from Scotland or Canada or the United States or New Zealand or Australia or Britain or Ireland, and you are speaking English, you are going to sound different because of the country you came from. But we will all be able to understand you. I can watch a British TV show and I understand 99% of what they are saying. I can watch an American TV show from the Deep South and I can understand 99% of what they're saying. So no, but what you do want to make sure is that you learn the accent for the area you are either going to go live in or the area you're going to work in or visit, or maybe you're going to go to school there. So I guess, what did I say? Do you have to learn all the dialects? I guess you have to be able to understand them, but it shouldn't be too challenging. For me, I've mentioned this before, a deep Scottish accent can be difficult to understand. And there will be words that are different, like torch and flashlight and apartment and flat. Like there are words that are different, but you can figure that out usually. Hafia says, are those geese? Let's see here. I might have missed something on the picture. There are a lot of geese around right now. I don't see any flying by right now. Maybe I missed it in the frame there, but yes, there are definitely geese around. There are some down by the river. We just can't see them. Okay, I'm going into out of members only mode, back into normal mode. We'll go for about another 20, 30 minutes. It's up to you. When we run out of questions, the live stream will end. Oh, within reason. In English, when you say within reason, it means like I'm not going to live stream for 3 more hours. That just would not work. Freddie Wolf says it's proved that AI is going to make weaker the human memory because they don't need to think and keep anymore all the information in the brain. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think the next 5 years will be interesting. I think what you'll see in the next 5 years is there will just be so many more videos and reels and shorts and stories and Facebook posts, and a lot of it will be AI generated because it makes it so easy to create things now. Okay, next question. Here we go. From Nura. I don't practice my English. Now I forget how to use it. Can you recommend something for me to do? Thank you. So a few fixes there. Yeah, start watching some English TV. Start listening to English music. If there's a book that you read in English a few years ago, reread that book. Maybe if you learned English in school, find your old textbook and just kind of look through it. Reacquaint yourself with English. The other thing I would say is try to remember why you liked learning English in the first place. If you liked learning English because you liked reading, start reading again. If you liked learning English because you liked watching YouTube videos, start simple and start watching YouTube videos. But yeah, certainly get started again. I guess you missed my last video. My last video was on don't quit learning English. Let me put it in the chat for those of you that might want to watch it later. Okay, let me find the next question. I have 8 more questions to go, but I bet you a few more will roll in. From Pavel. Hello, Teacher Bob. I hope everything is great with you. I wonder how Canadians are into playing lotteries. Do you buy tickets? So in Canada, lotteries are all run by the government. So the Ontario government runs, the province I'm in runs if you buy a lottery ticket, it's usually through the government. There is now betting on sports in Canada, which isn't, although I think the government is probably involved somehow. And yes, when you go to a convenience store or a gas station or a drugstore, when you go to the checkout, let's see here. Did I have that in here? Maybe I didn't. Oh, maybe that was the week before. The check. Oh, yeah, it probably was. Yeah, that was the week before. Sorry to get off track. I thought I had like a convenient. Last week we learned to check out and you go to the checkout, right? The phrasal noun. Anyways, Yes, there will be all kinds of different lottery tickets. You can pick numbers, and then hopefully they draw the numbers on the draw date. You can buy scratch cards where you scratch off. You can, on a phone, you can place a bet that the Toronto Maple Leafs will win, which would have been a good bet. And do you buy tickets? No. It's not that I've never bought tickets. When I worked at a restaurant when I was younger, we all bought lottery tickets together. Every week, the chef would collect money and go buy 1 or 2 tickets and pin it on the board to see if we won. But myself, no, I've never regularly gambled or bought lottery tickets. I think, A, I haven't gambled because I don't think I would be good at it. And B, I haven't bought lottery tickets because I would rather use the money for something else. Like I would rather invest the money instead of buying a lottery ticket. Haki says they are also expecting to sell about 650 million robots that are working with AI by 2035. I hope they make a robot that can help Jen grow flowers. That would be fun. Okay, Bridget says, I'm preparing for traveling to Edinburgh, so I have to change from Canadian to Scottish accent. Yes, you'll have to see how that goes. Freddie Wolf says, the Scottish accent is so difficult to understand. It seems to be a foreign language from English. Yes, and a lot can depend on the speed. That can be part of the problem. Lolly, she says, est-ce que tu peux dire quelque chose en français? I like your subtitled or your subtle English accent. Thanks, Bob. Okay. Well, I just did. Could you please say something in French? Il y a une fête ce soir et moi, je ne vais pas y aller. There is a French party tonight and I'm not going because I'm too busy. Je suis trop occupé. Je peux pas y aller parce que j'ai beaucoup à faire ce soir. Et aussi, demain, je dois, comment dire ça? Je dois me réveiller très tôt. I think I said that wrong. I have to get up really early tomorrow morning. So there you go. J'ai dit des choses en français pour toi. Merci beaucoup. I'm going to switch back to English now. Thanks, Lolly, for forcing me to speak a little bit of French. Me forcer de parler un peu de français. Raton has the next question. What is different? What is the difference between home and house? So, first of all, me réveiller. Merci beaucoup. I think I went into the future there a little bit. Me réveillerai. I will. Yeah. Anyways. So home and house can mean the same thing. I live in a home. I live in a house. But home is generally referred to the feeling and the place. So this is my home. This is my childhood home. I grew up here. When I'm at work, I want to go home. I want to go to the place where I live and where I'm comfortable and I have my wife and kids. That's my home. So in that sense, a home can be a house or an apartment, or maybe you're renting a room somewhere. You can use home to describe all those things. The place where a human being lives is called a home. A house is simply a building, okay? But you can say, no, let me not say that. A house is definitely a building. Like I live in a house. You might live in an apartment or in a flat. One of those two. Let's see here. Random questions for Bob. Nice. Do you know how to swim? Yes. I had swimming lessons when I was very, very young. We went to a pool in the winter inside. It was amazing. I had never seen a pool indoors before, but my mom took us in the winter. I think because we were farmers, we were very busy in the summer. And so I had swimming lessons in the winter. I started by putting like a little floating belt on, I remember, and then learning the dog paddle. So yes, I can swim. We also had a pool when I was younger, which is probably, I think that came after the swimming lessons. I think we got swimming lessons, myself and my older sister and brother, and then we got a pool. Let's see here. Do you play any musical instruments? I can play the piano a little bit. I had 6 months of piano lessons when I was 11 or 12, but I can't really play a whole song. And what was the latest movie, TV show you watched? I just watched Andor season 2, and I'm looking forward to next Tuesday when the next episode comes out. That was very, very good. so far. So Andor season 1 and season 2 are very, very good. Lolly says, merci beaucoup, Bob. Pas de problème. Mustaf says, hello, Bob. I hope everything goes well for you. It is going great. And then No That says to Lolly, great question request to him. Yes, every once in a while, I'll speak a little bit of French. Although I have not been speaking with my speaking partner lately. So I'm a little rusty, we would say, in English. Okay, let me get to the next question. Bella says, and so forth. There's a T missing, and so on. This is something we use, this phrase, when if I'm telling a story and people know what's going to happen, I'll say, and so forth and so on. So it might be something like the parent came in and they were saying their kid didn't do their homework because they were on vacation, and then they couldn't catch the plane, and then they couldn't find an Uber, and so forth and so on. And it was just a long story. It's basically a way to say, the story I'm telling you is too long and you don't need to hear it. So I'm just going to give you a few parts of it and then say, and so forth and so on. Let's see here. Dimitro, hi, Bob. Thank you for 2 live lessons in a week. No problem. So many times I've heard people here in Canada say, I'm Canadian or I'm a Canadian. Can you explain the difference in usage? Thanks. We do say both, and I don't know why. I could say, I'm Bob. I'm Canadian. I am Canadian. And I could say, I'm Bob. I'm a Canadian. I am a Canadian. We don't do this with other things, like I'm a teacher. He's a doctor. We don't take the out when we do that. I would never say, I don't like to say things wrong, but I would never say, I'm doctor. That's wrong. Don't say that. So I don't know, but they're both correct. I'm Canadian. Hey, where are you from? I'm Canadian. Where are you from? I'm a Canadian. Yeah, we use both because we're proud to be Canadian. So sometimes we have a couple different ways of saying it, I think. That might be it. Hey, I do want to say thank you to the 296 people who are watching. These live streams are very fun for me. I used to do them. Oh, we peaked at 310. Oh, that's a lot of people. I used to do them every Saturday, and I apologize that I don't do that anymore. But I have to live my life. Like I have to buy groceries and stuff, so I can't commit that much time to it. I was actually mentioning to Jen this morning that I'm surprised that I was able to do these live streams every Saturday for so long. So it's cool that you're here. I'm going to keep answering questions for another 10 minutes or so. But thank you. If you are new here, please don't forget to click the red subscribe button. There's a join button or a subscribe plus button. I think it's going to change, but you can explore whether you would enjoy being a member. Hafiz says, if I know nothing about Star Wars, can I still watch Andor? Yes, definitely. And then it will make you want to learn more about Star Wars. Freddie Wolf says, Bob's French is great. If only I could be able to do that without too many mistakes. Yeah, I think I made 3 mistakes though. I'm reflecting on what I said. The French do though, they don't use articles with professions. Oh yeah, je suis instituteur. Ouais, je suis professeur. Let's see. No, that I like listening to him when he speaks French. He has a unique voice, and I think he could speak any language and could listen to him for hours and more. I don't know if I could speak any language. I think Arabic would be tough for me, and I think Chinese would be tough for me, or some of the other Asian languages. When you get into a language like Chinese where there's tones, because I'm not a good singer, I think I don't understand completely how to make the right tones. Mode says, thank you so much. I wish you a safe Costco trip, Bob. Yeah, we'll see. You have not listened to Bob sings in French. I'm not going to sing. Did I sing once? I think I sang once in a live stream, but okay, let's get to the next question. Let me put the current one up to make sure I answered it. Yes, I did. Okay, next question. Here we go. From Diligent Learning. I have a question, Bob. What's the difference between gripe about, moan about, and whine about, meaning complain about? Have a good weekend. They are all the same. And sometimes we even say that guy just whines and complains, or gripes and complains, or moans and whines about stuff. Like if I just kept talking about how I hate this cup and it's way too big and I wish I had a smaller cup, and it holds way too much water. Look, it's still half full. Why? Like, I'm just griping and complaining and moaning and whining. I actually like this cup though. Sorry, cup. I didn't mean to disparage you like that. I think gripe, whine, and complain are probably the most common. Moan is probably less common because moan has other meanings as well. But I think whine and complain, he just likes to whine and complain about his car all the time, or he just likes to gripe all the time about work. So yes. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah. Hello, Bob. I hope your day is going great. Can you explain the meaning of this phrase, everything in between, and how to use it in a sentence? Thanks in advance. It's when we want to emphasize that whatever you are, it just means everything. Okay. So it's like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like he brought, let's say someone came over for supper, and you said, I made potatoes and vegetables and chicken and everything in between. You're basically, you're listing things and you don't feel like listing all 20. And the person you're talking to, after you mention 2 or 3 things, knows what you're talking about. Then you would use everything in between to kind of sum it up. And you end with saying, and everything in between. So during this lesson, I answer questions about pronunciation, grammar, and everything in between. So I'm basically saying, ask me anything. Parents sometimes complain about other students' behavior and that teachers grade too hard and everything in between. You're basically, the list, and I'm not going to say the whole list. I'm just going to end with saying everything in between. That's the way that one works. Let me go to RiverCam. Let me go here and put the link. Is it link? Put the link. I need a few more questions and then we'll wrap this up. Cat Diary says, thank you, Bob. Bye. I have a great weekend. The view is so peaceful and greenish. So we have the same weather. Everything is starting to bloom. Definitely. Yes, everything is starting to bloom. In the chat, Freddie Wolf says, Justin Trudeau has a Canadian accent, whereas the new prime minister has more a British accent. I apologize. Oh, Mark Carney. Mark Carney is his name. Yeah, it's interesting. Some of our leaders are fully bilingual, as in they grew up in a bilingual household, and some had to learn either French or English because our provincial government, our federal government is bilingual. It operates in both languages. So it's important to know both languages well. Let me check if there's another question. No more questions. So we can wrap this up. Unsel says, thank you so much for this amazing lesson and thanks for answering my question. No problem. Have a great weekend with your precious family. Please say hi to them for me. I will do that. So I think we'll wrap this up. Soda says, good night, Teacher Bob. Hite says, I think it is cloudy there. It definitely is cloudy. Jen is currently working outside for a bit, and then she's coming in and we have some inside work to do before we go to Costco. But yes, I would say it's overcast, it's spitting, and it's definitely getting cooler. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Again, I'm going to wrap this up. There's a few things you should know. This lesson from yesterday, I'll get to the beginning. This lesson will come out tomorrow in a shorter version. You should watch that if you are interested. If there was anything I answered in this lesson that you didn't understand, if you wait a couple hours and then come back, there will be automatic subtitles, which are okay. And maybe you can rewatch that little 5 or 10 minute portion to get a sense of what's going on, because maybe it was not clear the first time. And what else was I going to say? New video coming out Tuesday. Life as it is continues. So it should be fun. Cat Diary says, bye. Diligent says, your humor is amazing. Thank you. Alex says, bye. Know That says, thanks for the amazing Q&A lesson, Bob. You're simply the best. I wish you and your family a wonderful Saturday and Sunday. Greetings to Jen and your kids. I will pass that along. You are welcome. Bye to Lolly, Ralph, Ricardo, Sadafdas, Hatai, Ulia, Ricardo, Soda, Know That, Liliana, Tan. I just read the names. How many times do I say them twice? Tefan, Gabrielle, or Gabriel, Hafiaz. A lot of people saying bye to each other as well. We will go, as we normally do on one of these, we'll go to this one, and I will turn off my face in the corner, and you can enjoy for just a few minutes the great outdoors. So bye, everybody. Have a great week.